don't let those things like, oh, I can't do this because, I had this happen, or I've been raped twice, at 13 and again I wasn't even 13, I was 12 and again at 19. I've been robbed at gunpoint, like doors kicked in, dragged out the bed because my parents sold drugs. So we were always getting raided and all type of crazy. I mean, I was learning how to shoot at the age of 6 years old. I learned how to load a gun, how to get rid of dope, everything at 6 years old. And it has, even though like a lot of people, I thought I was going to be a statistic, like, okay, she's going to be, she's going to be this and she's going to be that. I didn't let any of those things, stand in the way of what I had going on. No, I didn't care who it was. If you in my way, you got to go, including my ex-husband, because I've been married at 34 years old. I've already been married twice. So, I don't let those things get in the way because life is too short. And one day you won't be able to have that chance anymore.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole, that's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl, that Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside the irritating one, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. DK, tell the people hello.
Well, before I say hello, I need to address the reason why, you chose to switch out the adjective of lovable to irritating, right? I'm not understanding. So
irritating.
Enlighten the people all of a sudden. Why am I irritating, right? I like to think not even through my irritation, like a yeast infection, that I'm still lovable.
No, nobody loves those. Nobody wants those. I'm just saying.
Unless you're a baker, but I digress. But anyway, what's up, people?
That's it.
What? What's up, people? What's popping? What's happening? How's it hanging? How's it swinging? No. Good afternoon.
There you go. No? There you go. You working towards it.
Well, pick one and be happy with it. But you still didn't tell us why I'm irritating, right? So why am I irritating? I'm not understanding. Have I gotten on your last damn nerve?
Occasionally. I mean, we've been business partners for 4 years. Yeah, you've gotten on my last damn nerve before.
Okay. Well, that's my job in life. My job is not to,
I've tap danced right back.
Say again?
I said, and I've tap danced right back.
I'm not saying that you didn't. My job is to be me. Now, how you perceive me, that's all on you. But my job in life, 51 years in the making, is to be uber comfortable in my skin. If you get irritated, if your light skin ass turn beet red, I gave my job. You got to thank me for that, man. And I'm doing it free of charge, too.
Oh, really?
Free of charge. Like, you don't get this type of love/abuse anywhere else on the planet besides me.
Right. But then it constantly says, cash at me.
Yeah, definitely. Run that up. Run that up considerably. What's going on with you, man? Like, you left the spot today. You gonna tell people, like, what that spot is?
I left the spot today.
Your head, child, your wig piece.
Yeah, I was getting there. Yep, she back on her baldheaded hoe shit in a relationship. She went and got shaved and cleaned up today. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Now I need to go get these horrendous Chewbacca eyebrows done. COVID is doing a number on your girl. It's not even COVID. I can't even complain about that because the beauty salon's been open. I just haven't had the time to go.
Well, you can't do them at home. Yeah, butter knife.
A butter knife. I've been Bama's threaded by an Indian woman who is very skilled at what she do. No, I can't. And no, the Indian woman that lives with me, named my mother, can't do them neither. I don't trust her that close to my face.
She can have an accident on purpose. It's all right. We would understand.
Right.
Like,
and you'd be right there to
my child,
for her. Mm-hmm.
Right. If you was my child, I promise you I'd have been had an accident on purpose. That's
it's
just me.
Right.
Like,
it's all right. Jesus bless you with MJ.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm counting down the years. I got 7 more to go. Just 7.
Lord.
Free at last. Thank God Almighty. We are free at last.
Well, she gonna sign you right into Shady Pines. permanently.
Either way, I'm still free. She can go ahead and be her. I can go ahead and kick back in my oldness. It's a win-win situation for everybody.
Okay. Well, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
As of this record,
DC, no longer in Southeast DC.
No, I'm a Maryland boy right about now.
Right.
Yeah, to say the least. But as of this recording, DC is under a bit of unrest, right? You know, if y'all been watching the news, y'all know shit has been, crazy. And so anybody that I know, I actually told my neighbor today, he was coming out his back door, I was going into mine. And I was like, I don't know where you work at, Slim, because we just do the high and buy. So I was like, I don't know where you work at, but if you don't have to go to DC or anywhere near DC, then please, by all means, don't go. It's not worth it, right? Like, it just, what I mean by that, it's not, I don't think nothing crazy, but the city's on lockdown. Like, my job is right next to the National Armory, and I've never seen that so many doggone buses. Like, I'm gonna take a picture and post it, on our IG boy. There's so many doggone buses that didn't bust in, like it's a madhouse to say the least. So, with that, I'm just keeping my eye on that. But besides that, as far as the immediacy of the house, so it's the same old. My wife keeps a honey-do list at the ready. My daughter has her hands in my pocket. She didn't pull all the money out. Now she's pulling out lint. Besides that, I'm good.
Good deal. I'm happy to hear everything as well. Well, listeners,
happy to hear that I'm broke. I'm not understanding why would you be happy to hear.
I said I'm happy to hear everything as well, is what I said.
That's not well. Me being broke ain't well.
How you work a job like the rest of us. You ain't broke. Your bills are paid. You have a roof over your head, and there's groceries in your refrigerator. You are financially stretched right now.
Leave it to doggone MJ. I am BROKE.
Well, when MJ come down here and tell me otherwise, then I'll submit. How about that?
Well, okay, all right. Women sticking together. Lord, what happened to the man? What happened to us? Anyway,
can I move on? Can I do what I do?
Please, by all means.
Thank you. Since I'm on my bald-headed hoe shit in a relationship, get a haircut. I get a little big dick energy. Love is podcast listeners. We have a special treat for you today. We have a guest. It is author BlackByrd, who goes by Byrd. Byrd, what's up, girl?
Hey, how you doing?
So Byrd is not only a best-selling author with 19 self-published titles. She's also a retired nurse at the age of 34. She's a business consultant focused on micro business. She is also, as if she's not doing enough, a co-owner of a clothing line called My Color. And we'll talk about what My Color is about and what they do. She's also, of course, like everybody right now in the middle of COVID, a homeschooling mom, which you were doing that also before that, right?
Correct.
And she's a homeschooling mom, gun violence activist. She's currently residing in my favorite state, not MIA, y'all. It's Michigan. She is married mom. She grew up in Flint, Michigan. She was a witness and victim to things no average person could imagine, for being robbed at gunpoint, growing up at 14 years old with a mother who sold drugs, a father who was addicted to those same drugs. She's been raped, abused by her first boyfriend, losing both brothers to gun violence, and many more things that we're going to talk about here today. Byrd is a firm believer that God does not put you through more than you can handle, and she takes a lesson from every life experience. Hello. That's our girl, Byrd.
Hey.
So, since we have a guest, we're not going to do my usual ratchetness, especially today with a new haircut. Trust me, it'd be real good and filthy. We are not going to do what the fuck news, but however, in all bald-headed hoe shit, we going to do Baldheaded Hoe Shit Award. Now, the first recipient, believe it or not, is literally one of my favorite people. Is 6-year-old Mimi, who happens to be Byrd's daughter. Who, if you do not follow Byrd, I'm going to put all of her info and social media handles in the show notes. You definitely need to go follow her, because Mimi is not with the shits. Now, if you think me and DK's kids or something, she got ours beat by lengths and miles. So Mimi is 6 years old. She knows her boundaries. She knows what to say in the midst of stranger danger, which I'll let her mother tell y'all what that is. She knows what to tell folks. You know, she can tell you where to get off and where not to get off. And, you know, she's coming for Ving Rhames' job. I'm going to be on Twitter campaigning for her as soon as we get off this podcast, because I want Arby's to understand, like, she's serious about this life.
Yeah, she's serious about
So
it.
my first recipient is 6-year-old Mimi. I'll have to send her something in the mail. I'll sign it and everything.
She would love that. She'll think she's so important.
Yes, I'm gonna find her something. I'm definitely mailing it to Michigan. I might even come up there. I just might come up there. Listen, I gotta stop at the Mideastern Market and all that. I might just stop by y'all way.
Right. Yeah, we're not too far.
Right. So welcome to the show, Byrd.
Thank you guys for having me.
Our pleasure.
So let's start with Mimi. Let's start there. Let's start with our recipient. Tell the podcast listeners about my friend.
Oh God, okay. Mimi is the definition of a true Sagittarius. Yes, I said that, DK. I'm sorry.
Wow.
She is the true definition of a Sagittarius. She has no filter on her mouth. She is not for anybody's bullshit. She is her own person. She thinks on her own. She doesn't care if you agree. If I show her a picture of a man and I think he's fine and she think he ugly, she's going to say flat out, he's ugly. I don't like him. She is a leader, and she is a cussing. Well, she used to be a cussing baby, and now she is a cussing. I guess you could call her. Well, I say she's 16. She's 6, but she's 16 to me. So I've never had a baby. Like I missed the baby phase. I never had that.
Adult.
Yeah, she's a mini adult.
Yes, and that's why Mimi is winning my very first Baldheaded Hoe Ratchet Award, because baby girl, I mean, she's hysterical, y'all. She's hysterical. She is the cutest little chocolate drop you ever want to see, with her twisties and you know, and her makeup. But every day is a new adventure in Mimi Land. Every day is a new adventure with her. You can't. DK did not know about her until we were pre-recording, and I had him literally weak. He's like, you can't. I was like, the things that go with Mimi, you can't make up, and that's the best part of it. Yeah. Like, you can't make it up.
Yes, people are always like, did she really say? I'm like, yes, she did. Yes, she did. Like, she's always talking about me and my wigs. We'll go in public, and she'll be like, look at this wig, Mom. It looks just like one you got. I'm like, oh my God.
Ooh, but you know what? She should be like that little Bryce boy on TikTok doing all them skits.
Because you know what? We wanted to get her a TikTok, but I'm just always so scared of, crazy people out there, and because I had some crazy shit happen to me.
Now, hold on. She know what to tell folks. She know what to tell folks. Listen. So
yeah, she ready for it. She ready for it.
6. And so the last time Byrd and I had any conversations really about anything was about Mimi. And so Mimi was trying to coerce her sweet mother to let her curse. And she had it with her in this conversation. So she brought it to Facebook. And of course, all of us were sitting there in stitches about, her plea and her debate as to why she felt at 6 she was so compelled to cuss. So please tell everybody what her stranger danger motto is.
Okay, so she has this thing where and she waits for a stranger too. Like the other day, it was funny. I was telling y'all earlier, but she does things like, we was riding by a park not too long ago, and she's like, we should stop at that park. And mind you, it's winter in Michigan, so she's like, we should stop at that park. I'm like, no. She's like, there's no kids. There's even no kids there. So COVID's not there. I said, it's still there. And she's like, okay. Well, we should still go. And she just wants to be put in a situation where a stranger talks to her. She just has to, she wants me to leave her in a car just so a stranger can talk to her. And just so she can say, she wants to scream it. And I say it. She wants to scream it. Stranger danger, get the fuck out of here. Like, she's like adamant about saying it. Like, she's like, I have to use it. Like, it needs to be used. And so anywhere we go, I'm like, you better not. And she has this thing now where when she's in the car and I'm hooking her up in her seatbelt, she's like, I'm watching y'all back. And she's looking just so she can just say it to somebody. She just wants to start stuff.
DK, we need to make her a t-shirt.
Yeah, we do.
Ask me about stranger danger. That's what we're going to do and sign it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make her a t-shirt. Ask me about stranger danger.
As long as it's pink, because she said blue and all them other colors is not her color.
Well, listen, again, I said the child knows her boundaries. She knows what it is. Again, Mimi is not here with the shits. She is one of my favorite people on social media via her mother. Like her mom is trying to,
crazy.
sell her books and sell her courses. And Mimi's like, what? Wait,
Yeah.
no, that's not what we doing today. We are on the Mimi show. Y'all
Yes.
just happen to be, watching my mom, but now it's all about me. She's a
Yes.
star in the making. She literally is a star in the making. Let's
Thank you.
talk about the My Color clothing line.
Okay.
So
All right.
tell the podcast listeners and myself and DK, well, of course I know, but DK and the listeners about what that is.
Okay, so My Color is a clothing line dedicated to fighting colorism. It actually, I'm a co-owner. Me and one of my best friends, her name is Delisa. We started it together because we have brown little girls, and we got so tired of hearing the whole light skin is better than dark skin. Excuse me. Light skin is better than dark skin, and the whole feud between the light and the dark, and it was just getting out of control. And I remember when my growing up, my grandmother, and I know she hates when I tell this story, but she used to bathe me in bleach as a child. And she would do it because she didn't want me to turn darker. Even though I was born light skinned and I had always been light skinned, she feared that I would I would come darker. So she would put it in our water and she would just tell me, oh, it's just so your knees and your elbows don't go dark. But it's really because she didn't want me to become lighter. And I remember when she first saw my daughter, she was holding her and she said, and she had got darker over the time. She thinks she was about a month old. And she said, you're not light skinned, but you're still pretty. And it was just like, in her mind, nothing was wrong with that. Nothing was wrong with what she said because she had believed all this time that the lighter, the better. So it just became a thing where I was like, you know what, I'm going to have to eventually, and then my daughter started asking me as she got older, like, why are you lighter and I'm darker? And why, and I just wanted to make sure that she knew that her color was just as beautiful as my color, and that even though I'm lighter and she's brown and her friend may be darker and the next girl may be even darker, it's still all of our color and we're all still one color, and no light or dark is better than the other. So that's how we came up with the shirts, and they all have different sayings. So it may be my color is chocolate, or my color is caramel, or caramel for people who say it like that. And my color is mocha, and my color is vanilla. And so that's what we're dedicated to, fighting colorism and helping bridge that gap.
Now, the one I love is the one that definitely speaks about what's going to go down Tuesday. My color is vice president. I think that is so super dope.
Yes.
Because, it's such a conversation that we need to have with our kids. I've said it on my social media, was that, for my parents, they had always taught us that, when you grow up, you can be whatever you want to be. You can be the president, all those kind of things. Yet the only jobs that they were telling us about at the time was, be a nurse, be a doctor, be a nurse, be a teacher, or, something in janitorial, because you would always be in somewhere and you would always have benefits. And then, Barack Obama came. And so for what Barack Obama was for my generation, I feel like Kamala is going to be for my kids, because, we end up passing that same mantra on that, yes, you can be anything you want to be. Yes, you can do what you want to do. And at this point now, for girls, not only, for me, especially because, for my mom being a West Indian, both my parents were from Jamaica, to see somebody from an island, leave the island and go and, really making amazing headway for us.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right,
And, when Obama had won, it was, even though little girls felt like, okay, I could be the president too, because he's black as well, it didn't feel the same as it felt for little boys. Little black boys felt more like, I can be the president. It wasn't that little black girls didn't feel like they could do it, but it was like, okay, I could see, I could be in that position too. But now it's even more, like, oh,
Evident.
I could be the vice president. I could be the president, so it's definitely, it means a lot. So yeah, my husband was the one who said, oh, you got to do this now. So we did my color is vice president.
That's a good look, to say the least, right? But I just gotta, like, I don't want nobody to kick me, but I gotta keep it a buck. I'm so sorry, y'all. I love y'all. I do. I gotta keep it a buck. As black people, are we taking for granted if somebody of color reaches the highest office, whether they're capable or not? So that's just my question, right? And don't get me wrong. I think, with Obama being elected, first black president, right? For whatever reason, right? With, vice president elect about to step in there come Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Harris, right? Not a problem. So do the Democrats take us for granted? And I'm not a Republican, not a Democrat. I'm just like, me personally, and I'm just, because we're going to keep it a buck. I don't give a damn if you pink color. And I understand the reason why you see these people in higher office and they look like us. That gives us hope that we can do more than what we're force fed in school. I definitely get that part, right? But my thing is, and this is me personally, I don't care what, you can be pink, you can be purple, blue, green, polka dot. Like, the people need change. And I understand that it's nice to see one of ours in there, right? I get that, right? But in the same doggone token, I think, that the Democrats, well, if we put somebody on the ticket that looks, then, they killed two birds with one stone, right? It was female and she was black. So that was a minority twice over. Right. So granted, I think that, who they have, as Joe Biden's running mate, is more than capable of doing the job. I promise you, I believe. Now, you may not agree with some of her past practices, right? Because nobody has a clean track record. Let's keep it a buck. Nobody, if you look at things that Obama did, some things he signed into law, like you raise an eyebrow at, right? So nobody's not above approach. But in the same doggone token, I think that, we need to call a spade a spade. Yes, I am happy that we can look like, and then my daughter, because I too have a daughter, she can look like, oh, okay, I can. Yeah, you can. Right. But in the same token, it's just, they need to stop using that as a tool. Right. They really do. And like, we need people that's going to effect change no matter what color that they may be.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents.
Yeah. I think sometimes they do that. I remember my other grandmother had said, he only put her on the ticket because he knew that he could use her, to make sure that he for sure grabbed those, them black votes and them Asian votes and those AKAs and that, them sororities don't be playing. They
came out in droves, did they not?
Okay.
Every time you look, they got they throw up the gang signs. No disrespect.
Man, they do. They throw the gang signs up. They do that, and it's on and popping.
Listen, come Tuesday, it's gonna be a whole live step show going down with barking.
Lord have mercy.
All kinds, honey. Listen. I got a lot of friends that are Greek life, honey. It's gonna be a showdown. It's gonna be something.
I'm waiting to hear all them little screaming calls.
Okay, exactly.
Jesus.
But my thing is this, though, to answer you, DK, is we as parents and we as individuals have to educate ourselves outside of what is force-fed to us through social media, because regardless of whichever avenue you take it, it's going to be tailored and tapered a certain way. So we as voters and we as parents have to educate ourselves on what we believe for ourselves to be true. If you are one of those people who are like, I'm not getting into this whole rat race, I'm not voting, that's your stick. Please understand that people die.
I never said that I wasn't getting into the not voting, right? I'm just saying, let's be conscious, right? Everybody hold it. No. I got you. Just hold that thought, pin that thought. You'll be all right. Look, so just be conscious. Like, that's what, like, before you don't, and I love you, I promise, but we're not going, because like certain things I just take serious, right? And I can't be on, my platform. And don't get me wrong, I am so happy. Don't get me wrong. If it's just for shits and giggles, if it's for a pony show to say that, okay, we got him and we putting her with him to make sure that we seal the deal and get the win. I'm not tripping off none of that. Right. But if we're going to really educate our children, we got to let them know there's another side of that coin. Exactly. And let them know. Right. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm not saying not vote. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like, no. I personally don't care somebody needs to do a job. Right. And you can't. Okay. I seen something on social media and I pray to find it again. And they really broke down how politics work. And we went hard in the paint when Obama was in office. Like, I'll never forget it. I was on my way. to at the nighttime, like, cause I went to bed because none of that stuff moves the needle in my life, right? I got woken up, my wife in there jumping up down, crying and screaming. My oldest daughter, she jumping up down with my wife. I'm looking like, I got to get up in about a couple hours. Y'all sit y'all monkey ass down somewhere? Like, really? And so, long story short, I'm driving to work, and as I'm pulling up to an intersection, a black woman pulled up beside me. Her face was wet with tears. I immediately rolled down my window, asked her what was wrong, and she said, "We won." I'm like, we who? And but she was making reference that we finally have a person of color in office. I felt her joy, right? But I understood that, like, okay, he's in office, but his hands, for the most part, were tied, right? And so
Right.
I seen something on social media, and it was like, we go hard for the presidential elections, right? But if you want change in your community, you have to start voting. You know, what I mean, low level politics. That's how you get that immediate change.
We
It
were
doesn't
just
start
talking
at
about
the
that.
right. It doesn't start at the top of the hill, right? Let's keep it a buck. It starts at the bottom. I need y'all to go out and really investigate these people that's in your community, these Congress people that's in you that okay, and you hold them to the fire, and then you vote upward, right? We got it ass backward. We vote from the top, expecting to see change at the bottom. No, vote at the bottom to enforce that change at the top.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing I'm saying.
I agree.
Right.
I
So,
agree.
right. That's that. Like, nah, I'm all for the power of the vote. I'm all for like affecting change, but be smart with your ballot is the only thing I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't vote in the they'll vote in the
elections.
primary, but they don't do
Yeah. I remember when everybody was so upset, like, oh, Obama didn't do anything for Chicago. Like, what did y'all do to make sure things were going to get done in Chicago?
They didn't
by your
understand that
local?
part.
Right.
They didn't understand that. They once again, and so it's up to us. Like my plan, we really don't get down on the. And that's I'm not tripping off because we really don't do politics. But if we gonna dip our toe in, let's let people know. Like if you really want real change, you have to vote across the board at all times. Just don't come out to vote when they got the show pony up. I'm not calling President Vice Elect a pony. I'm not doing it. I don't want nobody to take my words and twist them, right? But call a spade, understand, not saying she's not qualified, but it's just like, we know we have this if we put this in place. Right. Bottom line, right? Like, okay, cool. So like, if I'm going over somebody's head, if I'm going to whatever, like, okay, like if you ask a female to marry her, you can't come with a $100 ring because she gonna look at you like, you really can't afford me. So if you really want to, you got to get out some women say, yes, I do, because of the size of the ring. Like, ain't he okay with the ring, push it over. So that's the same thing they do for the vote. Like, okay, I'm going to vote Democrat because that's been indoctrinated in me since day one, but I'm going to make sure I get that vote because who I have is my running mate.
My thing is too, it doesn't, for me, it's not so much who you claim as your party, whether you're Democratic or Republican. It is who is going to do the best for you. You have to be educated about your vote and what that vote means, not only for yourself, but for your kids, because again, all the voting does go for your taxes and your school districts. And like you said, DK, it starts at the bottom. So you want, whoever to come into this whole hot mess that has been a hot mess since the beginning of time. And then all of a sudden, become Mr. Clean, and it don't work like that. And especially in 4 years, it's not, there's no magic wand.
Yeah.
Facts. It doesn't. But I do love the fact that, our guest is smart enough, wise enough, intelligent enough, and business savvy enough to capitalize on that moment. Let's spin it back, right? Don't get it twisted. See, like if you listen to this, like y'all don't understand opportunity. Y'all, like she's saying, okay, that's opportunity. Let's rock. Like, no, I'm about to go make, and she's doing it in a positive way, right? But she's still gonna make a buck, which is uber smart because of she's seen it, and I'm gonna rock with that. Like, and people don't understand, like, opportunity is all around us, but you have to be open to opportunity to receive opportunity. So stop waiting for your elected officials to be Jesus Christ in your life to save your day. Like, that's why you still sitting there stuck on stupid, because you think a mere morsel. Like, God gave you everything, and I know I'm early with the DK rant. It's cool. It's all right, right? It's like God gave you everything that you need inside of you to get to wherever you want to go to in life. The problem with most people, y'all too fucking lazy.
Yep. Simple as that.
So since we did touch politics, and it's going to segue me into your activism about gun violence. Has the election, helped you, hurt you? Has it done anything, because there's lobbyists, there's all kinds of groups and things like that, especially, with the raiding of the Capitol. I'm sure, gun laws are going to be looked at again very soon.
Right. Oh yeah, they for sure will be looked at again. It's so crazy because I am like a huge person against like gun violence. Like I mentioned before, both of my brothers were killed in gun violence. Totally different days, years, but it was 3 years apart, I want to say. And they both were killed by accident. And so I'm really big on like preventing gun violence, but I'm also a gun owner. So like I'm part of the NRA, I'm part of the NAAGA, I'm part of rifle clubs and all this, but my main focus is just making sure that people understand gun safety and, and that a lot of people just believe you can just put his gun out and just play with it or I'm gonna shoot this way and the bullet's gonna go that way. It does not work like that. So I'm really big on gun safety and making sure you put your guns away for your children and just making sure that guns stay out of the hands of people who do not need them. So I seen that the NRA was actually filing for bankrupt. I think I saw that yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're right. You did. Yeah, yeah, that is true.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that this is a plan. I don't know what's about to happen. And then they filed in Texas instead of New York. So it's something going on. I'm not sure what it's about to be, but it is definitely something going on.
Something for all of us to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Like when one shoe drops, so you hear the first shoe, we're not going to go down the conspiracy theory, but I'll say this and then we'll revisit this and, it'll make sense. We always see when that first shoe dropped, we were, aware of when that shoe drops. But keep in mind, in order to take other steps, I hope y'all didn't hear that. Did y'all hear that? Or just me? No. That was me because I was, scrolling through Facebook and something with music popped up. So, anyway, long story short, once that shoe drops, you hear that shoe. But in order to take two steps, you don't hear that other shoe. So with all this chaos that's going on, all this, just something else is down the pike. What it is, I don't know. But,
me neither. I don't know. It's something though. I guess we're going to see sooner than later.
Right.
Absolutely.
To say the least. So let me ask you a question. You said that both of your brothers, and first of all, my condolences. Second of all, they was, towards gun violence, what you say was accidental. Do you want to, share exactly what happened? Are you in a good space to talk about that?
Oh yeah. One of my youngest brother, he was actually 19 at the time. He was at a party and the party got shut down because some guys started fighting inside. And this is all happened in Flint. And if anybody know about Flint has a lot. They got a lot of growing. It's so much that needs to be done there. It's insane. And this is why local voting is important. But the guy started fighting. They broke it up and they kicked everybody out. And as one set was in their car and the other set was in their car, and the crowd was leaving and they started shooting at each other through the crowd. And unfortunately, my brother was the only one who got killed. And he was shot in the back, actually. And he was with his friends. And when he didn't know he was shot. My brother was really big. He was a big old boy. And he got in the car and he said, "Wait a minute, I think I'm shot." And his friend seen it, confirmed it, and drove him to the hospital. But by the time they even made it 10 minutes to the hospital, he was already dead. So he was caught in the crossfire. And the second one was also at a party. And he left the party, went to the gas station up the street. Everybody wants to hang out at the gas station after the club. And he was, was he 30? It was either he was 29 or just turning 30. And he was at the gas station and he had a friend in the car who had some drama going on with whatever he had going on. So some guys put up in the gas station and they tried to shoot the friend in the passenger seat and they actually shot him twice instead. So Flint has a lot of work to do. There's really no police officers up there. It's like a handful of cops. They don't have any money to fund the police. It's really, really bad up there. They end up letting one of the boys out that was in the car that shot my brother. Just okay, well, we don't have enough evidence. What? So it's really bad up there, but it starts with them wanting to care themselves, them having to get out there and vote themselves to get the right people in and not always saying, "Oh, because he's black, I'm going to put him in." Right. Or because, or he's Democrat, I'm going to put him in. If the Republican can do more for this city than they can do, then you got to do what you got to do because Flint has gone downhill. It's a murder every single day. It's sickening.
I'm truly sorry to hear about your loss. But true, there's certain sectors within these very United States in the year 2021 is like the fucking OK Corral, right? So, people, and like you said, you have to get out. Like if you want change, if you're tired of living in the midst of violence, you got to get out. You got to vote locally, right? And then you got to hold their ass to the fire because they're easily accessible. right? Because they don't, if you vote for a local politician, right? Like 9 times out of 10, they're in your neighborhood. They're around the corner up the block. Like they have their offices is in the neighborhood, right? So you get to hold them to the fire, especially if they have aspirations of climbing the political ladder, right? So if they keep good on their promises, they know they got your vote for life. What happens is, and then like, so your grandmother, I voted for such and such because they say he's going to do such and such, and he kept his word. They tell the daughter tell the kids, and then that's how, you get that real change, right? Because you're actually backing somebody that's keeping their word. Now, granted, the higher you get up on the political ladder, it's kind of harder to keep your word because you need everybody that's beneath you to be doing what they say they was going to do. So, and I don't really want to spin this to politics, but we are here. So let's go and touch it just a little bit. So politicians have a history to making all these promises to get elected. And sometimes they genuinely, keyword is sometimes, genuinely mean it. But, what they don't tell people is, I made you this promise, but as long as I have the backing to see this promise through, then it'll come into fruition. Right. Well, and that comes with us as the people voting for the local officials to, help whoever the big dog is sustain those promises.
And if they don't show up, you better be like the white folks at the Capitol and show up on their front lawn.
Exactly.
Burning signs in their grass.
Exactly. Right. You with your war paint on and your Viking helmet. You know what I mean?
Everything.
Listen, we don't do nothing quiet. So NWA, if the police is coming before I get to your house. So the politician gonna know they coming. Let's
just have to figure out how the white folks did it. They was using all them apps and stuff too. We gotta get more creative.
Okay. Right. We gonna have to. But was Flint's downfall who was the current mayor at the time?
Flint's downfall has been who has been the current mayor for the last few years.
Okay.
Not just the one at that time, not the one the time before, not before. I mean, it goes back so far, with, cause, Flint used to be just like Detroit is motor capital. Flint used to be one of those, sub homes. Everybody from Flint used to work at GM. Truck and bus. GM Truck and Bus used to be the biggest thing there. Everybody from down south would come and live there. And when they started taking all that away, they took all them jobs away. And then businesses started leaving and closing. And so there's no jobs. There isn't even like grocery stores. Like you have to drive almost out of Flint to even get to a grocery store. Like they took away like the little bitty local grocery stores. The schools are almost all shut down. When I went to school, there's probably like 8 high schools. I think there's one now, 1 or 2. So it's just so much that has gone on there that needs to be. And then, they had the water crisis. That was a whole nother.
Yeah. And that's still not solved.
No, it's still, my mom, she's still, her water is still kind of iffy, but they replaced the pipes in the ground, but you're responsible for replacing the pipes inside your home. So it's like, well, if I don't replace the pipes in my home, how am I supposed to replace the pipes in my home when I only make $25,000 a year, and I don't own this home or somebody overseas owns this home. So it's so much. And a lot of the children are autistic now because of the water crisis. I even have family members, with children who are autistic now because of the water. So it's so much like that is going. The governor at that time let them down. And then every mayor before them, I'm just flat out say let them down because it's bad.
Right. So with that being said, most people that's going to listen to the podcast, if you can't do nothing else, right? If you can't do anything else, I believe in prayer. I really do. Flint, has been bad off for quite some time. So if we can't do nothing else, whether you believe, don't believe, I really doesn't move the needle in my life. Like, pray, like, because they got it bad. If you have, whatever you can donate, please do so. Right. And I know we all in a time of need because of our current situation, but there's others, worse off than us, and Flint is one of those others.
So, Byrd, do you miss nursing, especially now in the midst of COVID?
I don't know.
I knew your answer.
She retired. So yeah, she retired at 34. Like
listen, we all frontliners. We needed more help. We needed the retired nurses. We needed a retired radiologists. We needed a retired janitor. We needed everybody. So, but Byrd said, "Oh hell no, I won't go."
I do the deuces. I've been a nurse growing up. I said I was either going to be a lawyer, a nurse, or an author. And I actually, end up doing 2. And I think I'm a lawyer though on the side. So, but, yeah,
Listen,
but,
settling
but,
debates with me, you better be.
man, I'm an investigator. That's one good thing I am. But, but, as I was a nursing assistant before I became a nurse. And then, I was a nurse, and I was a nurse for 11 years last year before I officially retired. And healthcare has just gone down so much. It has become more depressing to be a nurse than enjoyable. And, I enjoy my patients. I enjoy taking care of my patients. I enjoy, being able to help them. But when it got to the point of me having to go in my bank account to pay for patients' medication because they had to choose between medication and food, and having to argue and fight with doctors because doctors were literally about to let patients of mine die and argue with me that I'm not a doctor and I knew what was wrong. And it just started to become more depressing because everybody, it's all about how much money I can get from the insurance, and it was no longer about the patient. Remember when you used to go to the doctor, you will sit there, the doctor come in and actually sit down and talk to you and chit chat, and then they'll leave. Now the doctors barely come in there, and the nurse does everything. The doctor comes in and he looks you over and he walks out the door.
Facts.
So it's become such a money hungry game and business. Yeah. I had a friend, he's a doctor, and he was talking about how one of the hospitals here had all these doctors and nurses and radiologists and all that stuff on their board. And then another company bought them and kicked all of them off. And now they have all these business people on the board. They don't even know anything about healthcare. Right. So it has become very depressing. And then last year with COVID was the end for me because it was to the point I'll make more money writing than I make nursing. And I was more so nursing because I loved taking care of my patients. But when I got to the point where my job basically told me, like, we don't have a mask. You got to buy your own. You got to find your own. We don't have any more sanitizer. You got to buy your own. We don't have any gowns for you. You got to buy your own. Like, what about these? Like, what do you mean I got to buy my own? Like, you don't even care to try and find anything? So it just got to that point. And then for Nurses Week, they didn't even give us a damn card. So it was like, you know what? I'm done with this. I go strip. I'm going to be a stripper.
I'm not going to touch that. I'm
going to leave it alone. If I'm going to get bullshitted and abused and all that, I might as well go strip.
Right.
Not at the bank. It don't happen there. Not at the bank. It don't happen there.
I'm going to the bank. That's what I'm going.
Listen, you at least would have made some money at the bank.
Man.
The bank would have been able to provide me with a mask. The bank would have been like, you ain't going out there strip with no COVID.
Okay. At least you got the temperature taken, and at least, somebody would have came and swabbed you for the dang old COVID. Do you feel like, because Byrd, I've been in medicine since I've been 18, and so for me, I feel like it makes you. I feel like as long as you're in the medical field, to some degree, it's always gonna make you cynical anyway. But I think COVID slingshotted us over. Not even Sparta kicked it, but literally slingshot us into another dimension of cynical. Because you became so, like you said, there wasn't enough PPE, there wasn't enough hand sanitizer, and it's not even, and even now, it's still not the greatest, environment to work in.
Yeah. So I think what happens with people that work the front lines, you're talking about fathers in the medical field, right? So you're face to face with what you know to be factual and with your reality. And sometimes those two don't pan up. They don't equal out. Like if we're in the business of saving lives and we're not equipped to saving lives, then what business are we really in? Yeah. And so that drain, if you're a caring human being, that drain on a person has to be phenomenal. Because
I was going home crying every day, just sitting in my car, and then I would know, like, I couldn't even, like, when my daughter come, like, no, stay away from the door. I got to strip on the back porch. I got to spray everything down. I got to hurry up and run upstairs and get a shower. And to think I'm doing all of this for you guys not to even, like, give a damn.
Right. So after a while, you gotta but you did a great pivot. Like, I really want to, like, your story. Like, when I read when you sent and I read the story, like, I work hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. I get it in. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna toot my own horn with both hands. Although maybe I don't have enough. But maybe I don't have enough to toot my own horn with both hands, but don't read into that. Look, so I read your shut up. Sometimes you gotta overplay your stroke. I'm gonna talk to my wife about that. Anyway, could you please be quiet?
Oh my God. Listen, Byrd, that's all I had. Oh, beep, beep.
Can I get to my point, please? So I was reading the bio that, like, shout out to all my guys. I shout out to all the overstrokers out there. You know, I'm down with you. Like, I believe you got to be creative. Anyway, can I hush, child?
Let me get my water. I ain't got time.
Yeah, so silly. Look, but I was reading your bio, right? And like I said, I work hard, and then you had a conversation. That's how this podcast came about today. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not working hard enough because I'm reading your accolades. I'm reading what you're doing. And then you told me earlier today, all the businesses that you got and all of them are highly successful. Like, I'm like, my God. So like, walk us through, how do you actually
working hard enough? That's
right.
what
Okay.
I feel
So
like.
you don't feel like you were like, okay, like you don't? Okay. Well, do me a favor, right? I'm asking for the readers. And if they don't apply the information that you're about to give them, which I'm about to ask, then that's just shame on them. How do you manage your time to effectively run what you're currently running? Because you got at least 5 businesses that's successful, right? Minimum.
3,
right? And then you, of course, mom, homeschooling and things, and then you didn't wrote, and then of course we're going to say this for my podcast was this. I got a story to tell. We're going to talk about books and that, because you got 19. You're only 34 years old, but you got 19 books underneath your, like, that's phenomenal. So I want to give you, I guess the thing is, give you your roses while you were alive. But like I said, I read your accolades, and I'm like, I'm bullshitting. Like, I'm not working. That's work. I'm not working. So, like, could you walk us through, not necessarily a typical day, but how do you prioritize stuff to get things done, to get the maximum, out of those things that you're pouring into?
Okay, so I literally have 4 calendars that I use on, including my phone calendar. And what I do is each business gets their own calendar. And I always try and make sure that I figure out what type of content I'm going to create for that month. And I basically write down every single thing I'm going to post or I'm going to do every single day for that month for that business. So I do it 3 times. And then I also use all my calendars. I check them all. I have a calendar to tell me to check my calendars. And I wake up at 5:30 in the morning and I don't go to sleep until midnight. And I just try to stay organized as possible. Just organization is like the key to it, because if I do not write it down, if I do not have an idea a month ahead, what I'm going to do for this month is not going to work. Like, you can't go day by day. For me, I can't do it. I can't do day by day and I can't do week by week because it just doesn't get done. So as long as I kind of figure out, okay, you know what, in February, I know that I need to have scheduled this many meetings. I know I got this many podcasts. I know I'm running this boot camp. I know I'm doing this. So I break it all down between each calendar and I keep those calendars beside my bed. And then I have a calendar in the morning that goes off to say, hey, check your calendar. Then I go and I check my calendars, and I just hired my first full-time assistant. Thank God. And yeah, I'm so happy about that. I was trying to be cheap. I'm cheap and I didn't want to do it, but I finally went ahead and hired her. So now I'm in a process of training her so that she can take on a lot of this responsibility, because a lot of people don't realize, like, even though you're paying money out and it may seem like a lot, you're able to get more things done to bring more money in if you got some type of assistance. So, and I was for a long time beating around the bush, like, oh no, I can't do it. And even with like a virtual assistant, even if it's just something simple as somebody checking your emails or doing this and doing that, those little things take up so much of your time. So, I always try to look at my whole week in a glance and say, okay, like last week, what did I waste time on last week? What things did I waste time on doing? I check my screen time, see how long I've been scrolling through social media for no reason at all. And I try to be better that next week. So I just kind of prioritize things by what's more important to do. And I try to plan it out a month in advance, at least, so I can have that all done and use multiple written calendars. Because sometimes the digital calendars don't do it for me. I need to write it down and see it with my writing. And I just do it like that. And with my daughter's homeschooling, I make all her curriculum from scratch. and I do it a whole month in advance as well. And Pinterest is my best friend for her. And I do it all. Like I have a system with her. I do it all by themes. So I just like try to stay super organized.
Right. So is there any place that because you can sell systems, right? And you can sell say again?
They can't have my systems.
They can't.
She said they can't have my systems.
Say that one more time. I missed that.
They can't have my systems. I'm not selling my systems.
But you can make a lot of, if you have a proven system, like people, you can make a lot of money off that.
I will admit though, it works. I teach it when I have a business boot camp, and I teach my business boot camp, and I tell them in there like, this is how I stay organized. It works though. It legit works. When you try that week by week, this does not do it for me. It doesn't do it for me because you just end up forgetting. You end up forgetting a lot of things. Even planning programs like Planoly, Later, Buffer, Hootsuite. I use those to schedule all my Instagram posts so I won't forget.
Exactly. And how do you find good help? How do you find, good help far as, what is the criteria of screening a VA?
They do have a lot of VAs that are on Fiverr, and they're very cheap. But the problem is, I have a thing with giving away my passwords. Like, I'm just not, like, I would rather give you my social security number than give you my Facebook password.
Yeah, man.
So for me, it wasn't as easy. I know with a few of my friends who do have VAs, they just go online and they just basically tell them what they want to do and find out how much time they have available and do it from there. For me, I needed someone that I could take on personally that I knew. So it's actually one of my friends that I'm using. And I picked somebody that I knew no matter what. Even if business didn't go good, we can part ways and still be friends. I picked somebody that I knew who had value and, understood what I did, and they appreciated what I did, and they took it as serious as I did. I picked somebody who supported me in everything that I already did, and somebody who had time and availability, because it may sound crazy, but I didn't want her to have her own business per se, because I'm like, I need you for my business. So I needed somebody who just, was like, okay, you know what? I'm trying to leave my job anyway. So here you go. And, I hired her. She was working at the post office, and I took her from the post office, and I said, how much they pay you? She told me, I said, I'll pay you more. Because I knew I needed her. Right. I needed her more than she needed me, and so it's just, I just wanted to make sure I got somebody that I knew who put the work in and who understood what I did and appreciated what I did, because people will say, oh yeah, I'll do it. I had so many, when I finally said I'll hire her, I had so many people coming out like, you could have hired me. No, I couldn't have hired you because you never answer your phone. And no, I couldn't have hired you because you can't even run social media. You don't even know how to get on Instagram. And no, I couldn't hire you either because you can't manage your time with your children now. So when are you going to have time to do something for me? Or you are always in a hospital, or so she was the best fit for all of that. She don't have any children. She's not married. So it was like, great. I can train her, get her in. So when she finally do get married and have children, she can still do this, but she'll be able to figure out how she can incorporate that with her family.
Right. That's where I am at personally. I need help because I want to level up, right? I don't want to be bogged down with menial tasks, because the menial tasks, you're wasting time there. And I'm a creator at heart, right? But I can't create if I have to post. I can't create if I have to micromanage ABC. I just want to bark. Well, if you let Karen tell it, I want to bark orders, have those orders follow, go let me create, and then we'll meet in the middle, and then we'll plan and go from there. So I really need to look at expounding, because I can't get where I know where I'm going to without help.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, just trying to look. You also can look into local, like if you wanted to like start off with something you didn't have to pay too much, look into like local colleges or local high schools, and they have students who be needing internships.
Cool. I would definitely do that.
Yeah, and they do a lot of work programs. I had my friend, she has a nursing assistant school. I had her reach out to a high school, and she was able to get some of the students to work at her nursing assistant school, but the school paid them.
Nice. That's definitely what's up. So what is, you're only 34. You are literally killing the game. What is next for you?
Oh my goodness. Well, I want to have another baby. But,
really?
Yeah, unfortunately.
She said, unfortunately. Listen, have you discussed this with Mimi?
She wants a. That's why she want a baby so bad. Oh my gosh, she wants a baby so bad. She said when she get older, she having 2 boys and a girl, but she not having a husband. So, yeah. So
I'm not. I can. Yeah, she ain't saying nothing wrong though, because sometimes men can be a pain in the ass. So
Listen, she said, I got
asked
what
her
I needed
why.
from him because she got what she needed from him, but she don't need
I
him.
asked her why. She said because it's gonna be like my daddy. So I mean, I don't know. So, I want to have another baby, but I know that it's a few things. Like I need to get my assistant trained better, and I want to do it. I'm going to Jamaica in June for my
congrats,
35th
congrats.
birthday. If COVID act right. If COVID act right. But I want to try to have another baby later this year, and I just want to expand my current businesses, and I just want to be able to I have like 50 more books inside my head, so I just want to be able to put them out. And I also am working on a screen play, and I want to be able to pitch something to Netflix. So I got like a lot of little stuff, a lot of little goals.
Nah,
Wrote
don't you
down.
gotta take away. Do me a favor. Take away that word little, right? You have monumental goals because you have achieved monumental shit already, right? You are
Thank
definitely
you.
on the path of great. Like, nah, because I read, like, y'all think I'm bullshit. I read that. I'm like, oh, I'm not working at all. I just make this shit look good. Like, I talk a great game, but I'm working. But you see somebody else that's like working, right? Like, so current like Byrd reminds me of a female version of Ramaya.
Oh, yeah.
Right, like
Right,
you like it, right. We had him on our show last year. You know what I mean? Me and him still stay in contact, right? And he's like y'all have so many irons in the fire, but y'all irons are in alignment with what y'all vision is, right? It's nothing out of you're not doing something that's not out of the scope of what the grand scheme of what you're trying to accomplish. Right. And I commend y'all. Like I see what y'all doing. I'm like, I really got to step it all the way up, you know? So that's great.
Thank you.
Definitely a good look. And we're not done just yet. Something else I wanted to touch on. We went down a few rabbit holes, and I wanted to double back on when you know your grandmother used to bathe you personally in Clorox, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how did you navigate that? With your daughter being darker, because like I'm always in my daughter's ear, right? Like I promise you, like I tell mama all the time, like only person that loves you more than your father is God. Mm-hmm. Like nobody else loves you like you beautiful. And I tell her that too. Like, so what I'm doing is she's going to feel love in the household, warmth, caring, understanding. So she's not going to need validation outside. So when a guy comes in here talking about, oh, you cute, oh, your butt big, she gonna look like, what, really? That's all you got. You don't got nothing else. You don't have like that's all you is. I'm gonna sit here and wait for you to give me something that's gonna move the needle to make me think about even smiling at you, right? And I see that you're doing the same thing with your daughter. So how was you able to, you know? And I'm pretty sure that your grandmother didn't mean no ill will because she was just giving what was given to her. Exactly. But how was you able to disconnect that and then reconnect something positive in your daughter's life?
You know what? I felt more like when she said it for a second, I got angry, but then I felt sad for my grandmother.
Right.
I understand that she just didn't know. She didn't know. Exactly. She doesn't understand. This is what she's always been taught. This is what she always has thought. You know, this is why she wants to wear the blonde wigs. This is why she thinks people with lighter color eyes are cuter. You know, so I just had to look back at my past. Like, you know what? This is what she did with us. This is what she did with me. And I just said, you know what? My main goal now is to make sure that since she said that to her, because my daughter's not even a dark brown, you know, but since she said that to her, I said, you know what, now I need to make sure that I, in turn, because you ain't even been here a whole month and somebody done already said, you're not light-skinned, but, you know, so I would tell her every day, like, oh, I'm going to eat your skin. It's so chocolatey, you know, and I would constantly tell her every single day, like how pretty she was. And I would make her do affirmations in the mirror. And I would tell her, like, you know, you're not the same color as mommy, but we're the same color. And I would just like, oh, I wish I had your skin. You know, I would just big it up, you know, make it sound very, very important and just make her show her other pictures. And I'm so happy that my best friend is her color because she gets to see it on her too, you know, because I can't really tell her how to feel at being a little darker than me because I'm not her color.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that I surrounded her with women that were her color and darker so that she can see it from them too. Cause it's always easy to think my mama is always going to tell me,
Facts.
so
Right. Right.
so my friends who are her color, I have a best friend. Oh my gosh. She thinks she is, Marilyn Monroe. Okay. So she is the Black Marilyn Monroe, and she carries herself like I am I am everything. And my daughter sees that, and she sees that that's her color too. So she looks at her like, oh, Auntie Nigeria is so pretty. She's so pretty. And I like her to see that. So I'm always showing her dark skinned girls and dark skinned ballerinas and, just showing her like, I don't want her to just think my mom is only telling me that because that's my mom. So I want her to be surrounded with those brown skinned women.
Wow, that is a great thing to do, right? You're creating, beauty right in front of her. So she's not looking for validation through social media, through television, through movies and all that bullshit there, because we know that they of all people play the color game. I promise you, they're going to play the color game and keep us divided, right? That's just factual. That's not me on,
I
what I mean?
Told one of my friends, I personally couldn't imagine being 15 years old in today's society, like with Instagram and stuff. I couldn't imagine it. Like, cause when I was 15, I was skinny, I was little, I couldn't imagine the pressure that social media puts on young girls now. I couldn't imagine it.
Facts.
Cause I know as a grown woman, I'll be looking like, damn. Like,
right. And then you like, I see grown women nowadays, and then I don't want to take shots. I'm just going to keep it a buck. I just see women that really just need, I don't want to say stay in your lane, but you're not of this generation, right? But you're doing this generation shit, right? Like, like don't do that. Like, so what they're doing, they're understanding, instead of bringing up the youth behind them and having them hold up to a higher level of esteem, they're actually lowering down, not showing them the way to go because they want to fit in and be validated by strangers. And I think that's what we at in this point in time in life. We just need that validation. And I'm always like Mama Marley, which is my daughter, called Mama. She has a phone, but she don't got no social media. And then, like, I had to explain to her why. I said, because it's addictive, and then you'll be on there, and then you're wondering, like, who I'm gonna post this picture, I'm gonna do this. I'm like, nah, you're not doing none of that.
And she'll be judging herself, looking in the mirror, like, my butt is not big enough, or my stomach is not flat enough, or my makeup is not good enough. Nobody wants to have that pressure on them.
Be a
it's
kid.
a lot.
Right. I need you to run, be silly, be loud. I want you to be, matter of fact, I want you to be a kid to the day I die. And then once I'm gone, then I believe that I'm going to prepare you for what the world has to offer. But I need you to hold on to your childlike innocence as long as you can, because I promise you that life is going to come for it. And you got to be ready. You know what I mean? Before we get out of here, and I know I didn't pretty much take it. Karen, please forgive me one night, but I was kiki and kaka and having a girl moment. But I some points I really wanted to touch upon. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack. I know she your friend. It's cool. Cuss me out later.
Right.
I want to give you
my friend, not your friend, not our friend,
but
my
like,
friend.
Y'all was going down to kiki kaka. Like, no, we're not. You know what I mean?
Beep.
Yeah, we're not doing all that. But look, so what I want to do right now, Bert. Jesus, like I really need.
The thing is, it's never not gonna be funny to be a bird. No, Bird would stop laughing.
You funny. So when I be saying I need help, I may be needing a new co-host, but we'll talk about that later. Look, so Byrd,
gonna bring my friends to your podcast with your new whatever. Yeah, right. That
we gonna block it.
Yeah, I'm not tripping. I'm gonna bring. Yeah,
listen, I'm gonna have Mimi tell everybody on social media what to do with it.
Anyway, so. Right. So with that being said, yeah, okay, not a problem. Look, this is what I need, because I'm not paying you an ounce of attention, right? Look, so what I need right about now, because like I said, you have so much going on, and I want to give you this opportunity to shine. I want you to talk about everything that you got going on, far as your courses, where they can get your stuff, how it will impact their lives. I want you to sell your shit. I want you to sell yourself. I want that, because you deserve that moment. Like, I promise you, like, I didn't know what a phenomenon. I'm not blowing smoke. I don't know you personally, right? Like, I'm not in the business of just giving people props because it's they own the shit. Nah, that's not what I do. I call a spade a spade. If you some shit, you some shit. But I promise you, like, you're really moving the needle. You know what I mean? And people, lives. And I want to give you this opportunity to actually let people know where they can find you at, like everything that you're offering them. Please, like the floor is yours. You know what I mean? Shine on.
Okay. So first of all, y'all can find me down at the Pank. No, I'm joking. Okay. So okay. So I'm going to start with my writing. So like they mentioned, I have 19 books out. I'm actually putting out my 20th book this coming Friday. I write urban fiction, women's fiction, nonfiction. I'm actually getting into children's books and everything. So I call myself the Jill of all genres because I plan on being in every genre, every single one of them. So for my books, you can actually find me on Amazon. I have my paperback on there, my ebooks on there. I'm on Kindle Unlimited on there. And you can find me on my social media, Instagram. It's at BlackByrd Inc. and it's Byrd, BYRDINC. And you can find all of my stuff on there. You can find me goofing around, making TikToks, busting my knees, all that kind of good stuff on there. And then I also have a company called Byrd Brain. Byrd Brain is where I do my business consulting. It started because so many people were asking me for business advice. They were always calling me like, hey, can you tell me this? Can you show me that? And I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I can actually do this as a living because and I love learning. I'm always learning new things about business. So I was giving it away for free. So I said, well, you know what, let's do this. So with Byrd Brain, I actually help you not only start a business, I help you find your passion. So a lot of people don't know what type of business is best for them. And they step into doing things that like selling lashes and they never wore lashes a day in their life, because that's the in thing. But it's not always about what's in, because just like it's in and out, your business will be in and out. So I help you find your passion and businesses that are based around your personality, and I help you build them. And we do boot camps, and I do content creation, I do goal coaching and so forth. And that is all on birdbrain.co. And that is on Instagram as well, or you can find that at birdbrain.co, the website. And it's Byrd also with the Y. Then I have My Color Is, which is the t-shirt line we were talking about, clothing line. And that is also on Instagram under My Color Is, but color is spelled COLOUR. And that is pretty much everything. That's pretty much everything.
when I said that, she killing the game, people. That was not a fluff. It wasn't it is what it is, right?
I thought about pimping on the side, but I'm still trying to figure out how I can fit that in.
All right.
What's that? You said pimping. You said stripping on the side. Did you say stripping?
No. She said she's gonna put you on the corner.
I'm a pimp.
You gonna pimp? You won't get unless a woman want a whole talk in her head. I got a strong cuddle game. I'll cuddle the fuck out of a motherfucker. I promise you. I'll hold your ass tight.
It's a real career.
I know that. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I do know this, right? But I don't think my wife is gonna let me cuddle nobody.
Look, if my friend somebody gonna give me $1,000 to cuddle, my husband gonna be like, "What time you gotta be there?" This is true.
Just hold me, protect me from myself. Hold me. I promise you that, right?
But why did Rock Me Tonight just pop in my head?
For old time's sake.
Okay. Put the money on the dresser, DK. Put the money on the dresser.
Yeah, to say the least. So I know I jive strong arm, but I'm gonna go ahead and get out the way because I'll make sure I want to hit my high points, because that's when I ain't gonna lie. When I have guests on the show and I know they have something to offer, I'm going to extract that, because as she was talking, I had the pen and pad out. Right? She said do that. She said okay. She kiki and caca. I missed that. Oh, but she said I got that too. Cool, not a problem. You gotta maximize. You'll find opportunity be right in front of you. I'm not gonna come back and listen to the podcast, which I do. I listen to my own shit. I'm just that vain, right? And I laugh like I never heard it before. It's not a problem. That's what I do, right? But no, you really have to take advantage. I think that today's guest Byrd really brought A game. When you heard when Karen was reading what she went through to where she is now. I really want to focus on that as we bring the show to the close. We all got stories to tell people, right? And I guess this is we even without the setup, Karen, I guess it's gonna be my Love Jones. So bear with me. Right. Came to me like a song I wrote. Shout out to Biggie. Look, so Anyway, we all got a story to tell, right? We all go through something. So you can make the decision whether that what you went through becomes who you are. Like Byrd clearly used what she has gone through to motivate her to live life now on her own terms. And for anybody, like we all done been through something. Everybody, ain't nobody that special. Like God don't got favorites, right? Like I promise you, God does not have not nay favorite. You may see somebody that has more favor than you, but God still doesn't have favorites. You know what I mean? Like I just want that to rest in you for a hot second, right? So with that being said, don't think that it's a life sentence of the bullshit that you're going through. And what you're going through, it either will break you or it will make you. And our guest today, it made her and it is steadily making her. That's the difference. Like what she's building, it's an ongoing thing. She just told you she about to drop her 20th. I didn't say 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I said 20. Like 20th book, right? Like, so with that being said, man, like, y'all have options out there. Anybody that's been listening to the podcast, anybody that has, gotten something from the podcast, y'all got options. Like, y'all can let whatever happened in your life, like, define you in one or two ways. It can define you whereas it becomes your story, or it can define you as just a moment in time and you're using that as, fuel for the rest of your life. The choice is yours.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I get that all the time. I hear people say like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. I say, look, if you know where I came from and what I've been through, there is no reason I don't accept people saying I can't do this. Like, then take that somewhere else. Take that I can't do this somewhere else, because there is no reason, I lost this. I tell people all the time, I lost my father, my mother. I know when she was reading it, she said 14. No, my mother was actually 14 years old when she had me. She was 14 years old and she was selling drugs. And my real father was on drugs my entire life. He was on drugs, and he ended up passing away. And so I've lost my dad. I've lost my grandfather. I've lost both of my brothers. I don't have any more brothers from my mom. I've lost a son. I've lost a best friend. So don't let those things like, oh, I can't do this because, I had this happen, or I've been raped twice, at 13 and again it wasn't even 13. I was 12 and again at 19. I've been robbed at gunpoint, like doors kicked in, dragged out the bed because my parents sold drugs. So we were always getting raided and all type of crazy. I mean, I was learning how to shoot at the age of 6 years old. I learned how to load a gun, how to get rid of dope, everything at 6 years old. And it has, even though like a lot of people, I thought I was going to be a statistic, like, okay, she's going to be, she's going to be this and she's going to be that. I didn't let any of those things, stand in the way of what I had going on. No, I didn't care who it was. If you in my way, you got to go, including my ex-husband, because I've been married at 34 years old. I've already been married twice. So, I don't let those things get in the way, because life is too short. And one day you won't be able to have that chance anymore, because when the Grim Reaper come pick you up, you ain't gonna have no time to say, oh, wait a minute, I forgot I had to do this. He gonna be like, I ain't got time to wait for you. What you been doing with the other 34 years of your life?
Facts.
So don't wait until the last minute. Just do it. Stop making excuses. And even if it's just one small step, when I'd always like to, I don't mean to hold y'all up, but I always like to tell this story here where when I went to nursing school, I left Flint at 19 years old by myself, picked everything up, packed my things, left on my own. I got my CNA certificate before I left so that I can ensure that I had a job when I moved out of Flint. I moved out of Flint, got my own place. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I got a job, and, me and him didn't make it, of course, but I never returned back to Flint. My goal was, it wasn't that I was ashamed of where I came from. It was just, I knew where I was going. And I sat there and I did what I had to do. And when I got in nursing school, I went to nursing school in Ohio. It was an hour and a half away from where I live. I drove every single day for 15 months, Monday through Friday, to that school. I went to work at 8:00 at night. I left work at 6:00 in the morning, got right on the highway, drove straight to school. I didn't have enough money to eat and pay for gas, so I would drink a Mountain Dew and an apple every day. because I had no choice. I'm like, okay, it's either going to be gas or it's going to be food. And I couldn't miss school because it was an accelerated program and you couldn't miss any days. I got up 3:00 in the morning sometime when I didn't have to work just to drive through the snow to get to school by 7, 8:00 in the morning. So would I do it again? Probably not. But I did it. And I always tell people, if you want something, no matter what, you can go get it. I had to tell myself, I remember I was sitting kind of beating myself up about my 20th book. It wasn't finished yet. And I had to sit and tell myself that, like, wait a minute, you drove your ass for 15 months back and forth to Ohio eating Mountain Dews and bananas and stuff. And you up in here talking about you can't make the time to finish this book. Get the hell out of here with that. And sometimes we have to tell ourselves, we have to stop always making excuses and just get it done. We always go, but this happened, but that happened. And stuff is always going to happen, but time is not going to wait. Time is not going to wait. It's always going to be something. Somebody's always going to die, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So why wait until after your grandma passed to have an excuse on why you didn't do that? Well, what were you doing before your grandma was still here? You know, so I like to always tell people, just stop making excuses and just get it done.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here smiling. I feel really good. I really do. I ain't gonna lie, right? I know you're Karen's friend, but you know, I'm going once again. I'm gonna toot my short horn. And I'm glad that I engineered today's podcast, right? Right? No, real talk. Like, you know, if you didn't affect somebody, you affected me. And me being selfish, I don't give a fuck about if they caught it or not. I caught it, and I'm gonna run with it. You know what I mean? Because I understand. Like, real talk, like, okay, I'm not being morbid. I'm just a real live dude. Like, I'm 51. I'm closer to death than I am to life, right? Let's just be real, right? It's a safe bet. I'm not going to see another 51 years. And there's God like, nah, I'm going to keep you around because I like to laugh at your life. Now, unless that's God's plan for me, that's not going to happen. So I have to move like no day is promised to me. Right. And so in hearing your story, right. And then you reiterating your story so you gave us the backdrop of what you had to go through to get to where you at now. People going to hear this and think like, nah. And 9 times out of 10 people that's going to hear this hasn't gone through what you've been through, but they still holding on to excuses like Lionel holds on to his blanket. Like, and I can't make nobody do nothing. I can just share people's story, hope that they're motivated, and then hope that their lives are changed from what the information that was shared to them. Like, but it just takes, you know, one thing at a time and being consistent at that one thing. It's not rocket science, people. Like, just be consistent. Like, I don't care where you at in your life. Just be consistent at that one thing and stop having a billion goddamn excuses, right? And then expect a person to always be understanding of your half-ass excuses. My thing is, if ain't nobody sick and if ain't nobody die, what the fuck are we talking about?
There is no excuse. There's
none.
No excuse. Yeah.
Get it done, and then we can talk about your feelings after you get it done. If you want to curse me out, please, by all means. Like, yeah. So, like, you know, and I know we're supposed to be at this school. I'm on a rant, right? So, me and my wife was at a point, right? And then I was always on her because she would come to me and she would want to talk, but you can't talk to me because I'm a problem solver at heart. Right. So you can come to me for the first minute. I'm going to give you that blank stare, like I'm really paying attention. But in my mind, it's like, okay, right. In my mind, like, okay, you do that. Okay, then problem solved. You cannot consistently come to me and then we're not, like, after a while, now you're stealing because you my time. So no, I had to tell her, like, you got to get it done. Right. Anybody in my circle, like, that goes for my wife, that goes for Karen, that goes for my little brother. Like, my circle is real small. Right. So I guess I'm all over the place. Let me go ahead and bring it back home. Like, there is no excuse, people, unless you are dying, unless you are gravely ill. Like, stop with the excuses. You hear our guest story and what she went through to get to what she's at now, and you got the audacity to talk about, oh, you had to do such and such. Oh, such and such did what? Really? And then so you don't get mad when things that you used to have access to or things or opportunity in your life start to go away because, like, nobody ain't funking with you no more because every time they talk to you, got an excuse why you ain't get the job done.
Yep.
That's nobody's fault.
Cut off many about that.
Right. And then they gonna look at you like, oh, you did. I didn't do you wrong. I gave, like, nobody, like, please. So, okay, I say this and I'm out the way. Look, if I am holding anybody up, feel free to, like, DK, we done with your long-winded ass. I have no problem with it. Call a spade. I'm good with it. And that goes vice versa. So with that being said, I promise you, I'm gonna get out the way, man. I'm gonna let my co-host get back in here because she probably, like, rolling her eyes at me. She be all right. But, like, I am so grateful. I am so honored to have you on the podcast, man. Like this, and people don't even know this all transpired today. This all came, like this, like real talk. I was on, like I told you, I was going to get, because we had doggone chicken and waffles for breakfast. Like she was like, "Can I?" And then it happened.
It went down in the DM.
It went down in the DMs just like that. Like y'all got a wealth of information because it went down in the DMs. But it went down in the DMs not the way that y'all used to, and that's your problem. Y'all be looking for instant, not real talk, because they be looking for instant gratification in the DMs. They be looking for a dick pic in the DM. They're looking for a titty shot in the DM. Nah, sometimes you need to jump in the person's DM for some information. Sometimes you need to jump in the person's DM to see, like, okay, I see your vibe. If you got 5 minutes, or I'll even cash app you a couple of dollars so I can have a quick doggone learning session. Like, you need to jump in the person's DMs for that, instead of seeing what they can do for you. And then after it's done, you still, paycheck to paycheck, mad and broke and disgusted.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's crazy. So with that being said, Karen, you got anything? I know I've been, strong arm.
Mm-hmm. And it's always me, they say.
I think Karen has left us again.
It's always me. No, before we close out, before I was a podcaster, before I was a blogger, before I was an author, before I, had a social media presence, I was a reviewer for a book club. And so I want to take this moment to thank Byrd and KB and Mark for, not only professional, but personal relationships. You guys have supported me in every facet of my professional life and personal. Y'all rock with me heavy and vice versa. Especially Byrd, when it was messy baby mamas and messy baby daddy, I would be blowing your phone up like, girl, if you don't come on with this book, I was like on it. And then what was the other one I gave you hell for? The record label one.
Oh yeah, that was the one we worked with KB.
Yeah. So, I shout out to the three of you. It means the world to me, how much y'all support me, because you don't always have that in your circle, especially when you guys are all in the, relative same playing field. And, it's never been a competition.
You won't be going in with us.
Right. Like, so listen, I'm with Mimi. That's why Mimi got the award, honey, because I be with the shits. But y'all know, if y'all say, listen, pull up to Detroit, I'm like, all right, I'm in the car. Y'all say come to Flint, y'all know I'm in. I'm like, hold on, give me 45 minutes. Listen, let me get dressed and give me 45 minutes. But I am forever grateful. Like I said before, anybody knew who I was. Y'all was rocking pretty heavy with me, sending me business, and giving me a name really before I had a name. And so for that, I'm always grateful and thankful. I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate you rocking heavy with our podcast. And jumping in the DMs. You're supposed to know my comments. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
I love you, sis. You know this.
I love you too.
I'm forever, whatever you do, I'm gonna be there and vice versa. So for that, I appreciate it. This is your girl. It's the Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole DK Walker, who's, taking a couple drinks of water, getting his wind back. DK.
Yeah. No, I don't. No, I'm long-winded. I'm good. Like, when I was, I talked forever.
I was forever.
Yeah. Anyway,
Forever.
but yeah. So
tell the people bye.
I ain't gonna tell them shit. Like, I'm gonna tell them you're welcome. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm on your welcome shit. Because today, after the day, like out of all the podcasts that we've done today, like, yeah, you're welcome. Whether you're thankful or not, you're welcome.
All right, Moana. All right. Byrd, please tell the podcast guests goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, and we out.
Peace.
This episode of the Love Is podcast has ended, but please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.